and Charlie Crist. That debate with Ron DeSantis and Charlie Crist was amazing. Of course, we knew before it even began that Ron DeSantis was going to win the debate, and not only did he win it, it's, was devastating for Charlie Crist. We're going to get into that later on the program. But I've been watching a lot of what's going on with the liberal media, because we are 2 weeks away from the midterm election day. 2 weeks. And by the way, we will be here the morning after the election live processing all the information that comes out from it. So make sure you're here. The morning after, we'll be talking about it all. But the mainstream liberal media are just having complete panics. On yesterday's show, MSNBC, NBC, we talked about these polls that Chuck Todd had from Meet the Press. That were some of the most depressing polls Democrats have seen since the introduction of color television to American living rooms. It really was pretty brutal, wasn't it? Oh, man. MSNBC and NBC News are having the biggest meltdowns, but so is CNN. CNN, MSNBC, they don't understand what's happening here. And I've got a couple clips we're going to get into early on this morning involving both CNN and MSNBC that illustrate their freaking out stuff. And, here's why they're in a total meltdown mode. I want you to think about this. President Trump came down the elevator how many years ago now? 7? It was 2015. Right? That's a long time. Prior to President Trump coming down the elevator, the media were gods when it came to controlling the news cycle, deciding what people cared about, deciding who people were interested in. And since Trump came down the escalator, they've lost their power, their influence. They're no longer the mainstream news. They're no longer influencers. For the most part, every once in a while they may surprise you with something, but for the most part, they've lost their influence. And these polls that are coming out that show a very clear red tsunami and a blue flush 2 weeks from today, the meltdowns they're having is that they have spent every day, and it's a 24-hour news cycle, so think about it. They've spent every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for over 7 years trying to stop President Trump. And not only is he victorious, this new generation of political apprentices, Kari Lake, Ron DeSantis, and others, are just hugely popular. And their frustration is no one cares what they have to say anymore. They used to be able to do this. I've talked about how a lot of you guys are new to politics or new to political news since the Trump era. And you don't know what it was like before this. Before Trump came down the escalator, they would take a story like this Herschel Walker story, for example, which is totally fizzled, right? I got 2 weeks left. Maybe they'll surprise us and bring the girl out with the abortion receipt. Who has a receipt? Do they give receipts for abortions? I don't think so. Give receipts for abortions. Thought it was confidential. And who keeps receipts? Anyway, forgetting about all that. Before Trump came down the escalator, a story like this fake story on Herschel Walker paying for this abortion, which obviously is not true. At least he didn't knowingly do it. It would have been over for Herschel Walker before Trump came down the escalator because the media had influence. They'd come out with the story on a Monday. There'd be denial. By Wednesday, you would see the Republican. I'm using Herschel Walker. This is like if this happened like before 2015, right? By Wednesday, you would see the press descending on Herschel Walker in front of his house. They'd be out in front of Herschel Walker's house trying to get comments. On Thursday, you'd see him getting into the door of his car, and they're all screaming questions about him. By Friday, he'd be on television admitting his mistakes, even if he didn't make any, just so they'd get off his back. And by Monday, it would have been over. Okay? And that's how it used to be. And boom. And I don't think, this October surprise, we're always waiting for the October surprise from the Democrats. I think the Herschel Walker story a couple weeks ago was the October surprise. Now, that doesn't mean they won't come out with another person or something, but it fizzled. It fizzled, and that's not how it used to be. And that's where their frustration is. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They have lost their influence, and they're never going to get it back because people are wise to them and sick of them, the mainstream media. So I'm watching CNN, I'm watching MSNBC in small doses, especially MSNBC. I can only take it in tiny little itsy-bitsy doses. And their frustration, their panic, their Trump derangement syndrome is, stage 4. I mean, these people, the Trump derangement, they just don't understand. And 2 weeks from tonight, when we get the live coverage, I don't think they're going to be yucking it up too much. I don't think they're going to start the broadcast all happy and cheery like they usually do. In fact, I would imagine at these cable news networks, people that usually can't wait for the election night coverage, because that's a big deal, are dreading it. They're really dreading it this time around. They don't want anything to do with it because it's not going to be fun for them because they're losing. So after the first break, I'm going to get into some of the audio sound bites I have. I have 2 from MSNBC, and I have 1 involving a CNN personality. And their world has just been turned upside down. And this is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful thing. I tell you, it really, truly is. By the way, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. That's right, this is the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida. Star Wars was in theaters in its original theatrical release when The Steve Kane Show went live on the air for the first time in the state of Florida. I wasn't there then. I was a little kid waiting for Star Wars. But yeah, 1-888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call. Let's take a call or 2, then we'll break and we'll get into these audio sound bites. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
You're talking about how this thing is, particularly with our guy over there in Georgia, is fizzled.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker, this woman, this abortion, him paying for this abortion or whatever, this whole so-called scandal is fizzled. Think about this and how they lost their power. But think about this: the Trump adjacent derangement syndrome. And I'm speaking strictly of the Kavanaugh thing with what's her name, Blasey Ford. Where is she now?
Probably enjoying all that money they gave her through the crowdfunding nonsense they were doing.
That's right, but really that thing fizzled too,
Well, they lost. Yeah, they lost because Kavanaugh's on the court. Yeah, their frustration in the media on the left. I'm going to play when we get back. I've got a couple things from MSNBC. One of them is the focus group they did on January 6th, and they just could. MSNBC just could not understand what happened here, and this is really a great time. It really is a great time because, the fake news media, they've lost so much, they'll never regain it, and that's wonderful. The media have been, since the fake news liberal media set up Richard Nixon and got him to resign from office. They've been on a reign of terror for 50 years, intimidating people and politicians and elected officials, especially Republicans, and that era is over, Mike.
It really is, and think about this. Here's something else to think about. They've been trying for the longest time to drive a wedge between your great governor and our great president,
Yeah, good luck.
good luck. It hadn't worked.
That's right. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call, Mike in Louisiana. Oh, man, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. After the break, I'm going to get into the audio sound bites. You don't want to miss this. Oh, man. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. If you're new to the program, welcome. This is where MAGA comes to talk. The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back after this. 465-2631. If you're new to the program, welcome. This is where MAGA comes to talk. The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
An honest auto mechanic.
Oh, man, guys.
I don't think they exist, but one does. Eddie at Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle
Kane
doesn't
Show
need.
with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
Attention boys and ghouls, it's Halloween, and you need a costume.
By the way, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video.
22,000 square feet. Costume World has everything you need for Halloween. Costume World, 2313 Northwest 30th Place, Pompano Beach, 800-423-7496. Costume World, 800-423-7496.
This is Staples.
So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking.
Where am I?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details. The Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just
Oh, man.
fine dining together every night, cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should visitors book right now?
I blocked this group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? 85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize this app for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Yes. We are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. Indeed, you are. The Steve Kane Show. Oh, man. Okay, so stand by. I'm going to get to the audio sound bites of the meltdown and panic at MSNBC in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about, oh, man, the great Mike Lindell. Did you guys catch Mike Lindell at the Texas rally? You know, there's a great new deal going on the MyPillow My Slippers. I have 2 pairs of these. They're out of this world. And let's listen to Mike Lindell tell you a little bit about them first.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my original My Slippers are back in stock. You've made them a huge success, and now I've added smaller sizes, larger sizes, wide sizes, and all new colors. And with your promo code, you still save $90 a pair. Not only that, I'm having the biggest closeout sale ever on our sandals and slides for as low as $19.98. What makes my slippers different is my exclusive 4-layer design that you're not going to find in any other slippers. My slippers' patented layers make them ultra comfortable, extremely durable, and they help reduce stress on your feet. Wear them anytime, anywhere. Use your promo code to save $90 on my original My Slippers, or for as low as $19.98, you can get our sandals or slides. Quantities won't last long, and with my 60-day money-back guarantee, you can rest assured they'll be...
Yeah, and I have 2 pairs of these. You use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, $90 off. I have the tan moccasins, and I also have the slip-ons. They're so comfortable. I'm like Mr. Rogers. I get home, take my shoes off, and put my MyPillow, My Slippers on. So go to MyPillow.com. These make great Christmas gifts. They come in styles for both men and women. They even have pink for the ladies. Great Christmas gifts for everyone, including the kids and grandkids. You can also order by phone. $90 off the MyPillow, My Slippers. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. And I remember last Christmas, they started running out of sizes and colors and everything else. They now have those wide widths. So go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane for $90 off, K-A-N-E. And again, you can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, so MSNBC in complete, utter panic mode, like I've not seen ever. And yeah, I know it. Hey, this is wonderful. 2 weeks away. We don't want them feeling good in the liberal media. So this first clip, this is Nicole Wallace, who's a real snake. Nicole Wallace is a Republican. She worked for John McCain, and she was a senior aide in the 2008 run of John McCain when he was running with Sarah Palin against Obama in 2008. And I'm just looking at the poison, the venom that Nicole Wallace has towards Republicans, even though she claims to be one. I bet you she was the leak of all those slanders about Sarah Palin back in the 2008 campaign. I can just see it. And Nicole Wallace on MSNBC lets you know what was really in the heart and mind of John McCain, right, who brought her up. So listen to this. This is a segment. They're obsessed on MSNBC with January 6th. For some reason, they think January 6th is the big thing that's going to cost Trump all of his influence, all of his power. They don't understand why it's not working, so they had this discussion. This is Nicole Wallace with a legal expert talking about charging Donald Trump with manslaughter. I'm not kidding. Listen.
Even if you were that deluded, quote, you may not send an armed mob to the Capitol, you may not sit for 187 minutes and refuse to stop the attack, you may not send out a tweet that incites further violence. It sounds like around the violence, she's looking at what the committee talks about as dereliction of duty. Is that actually a specific crime that you can charge someone of, Barbara?
So it's not a federal offense, but there actually is a really interesting legal theory here for manslaughter.
Oh.
Federal law defines as a death that occurs on federal property when a person acts with a reckless mens rea, a reckless mindset, or even gross negligence. And so Donald Trump, unlike most ordinary citizens, has not only a duty not to do something bad, he has an affirmative duty to take action to protect people. And so I think you could possibly put together a theory based on the facts that Liz Cheney just described to make Donald Trump responsible for the deaths that occurred that day.
Wow. So, yeah. So MSNBC, and it makes so much sense to them. It makes so much sense to them.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible. Nicole Wallace through there at the end. So they want to charge, this is Nicole Wallace, this is MSNBC. They want to charge Donald Trump with manslaughter in the death of Ashley Babbitt, is what they're talking about there. These people have lost their minds. They're totally insane. And they you know, out of all of the emotions, hate is the worst. I mean, hate is an emotion that has an effect on people very similar to the to being intoxicated. I mean, it's, you know, they don't even hear themselves. To them, this all makes perfect sense. And it's amazing when you get into these different circles that we don't travel in, liberal, mainstream, liberal media circles. And this really is a Washington beltway circle where Trump derangement syndrome is the norm. I mean, you know, the Washington, D.C. beltway area is really like an isolated city where all of these sufferers of Trump derangement syndrome have been sentenced. Some of them are in New York, but mostly in the Beltway, and the Beltway keeps Trump derangement syndrome limited mostly to that area where all these things make perfect sense to me. You know, this reminds me of the bin Laden raid. Now, the bin Laden raid, which Biden was opposed to taking out bin Laden, Barack Obama, the Obama raid, or the bin Laden raid, the bin Laden raid happened because they needed a campaign issue, right? And they came up with this idea of a bumper sticker. GM's alive, bin Laden's dead, right? So they did this raid. And when the raid happened, I remember it happened in the middle of the night. It was during the week, and I found out about it before we went on the air. And we go on the air about it, and it was a really non-issue in the news. And the reason that is because we didn't see it. They had already had this honorable funeral for him on the aircraft carrier and everything, and they took that away from the American people who felt a lot of pain and suffering and loss because of the attacks on America of 9/11. And they never understood, the left, why that didn't become a big issue. And there was this Aaron Sorkin show that was on cable, Aaron Sorkin, who did The West Wing, and it was about a newsroom. I can't remember the name of the show. Does anyone remember this? Jane Fonda was in it. And they had this event that happened the night of the bin Laden raid. And it ended up in a courtroom drama and depositions. And through the whole season, they kept talking about the night we got bin Laden, the night we got bin Laden, the night we got bin Laden. And they thought that the bin Laden raid, the night we got bin Laden, the left, was going to be like you knew where you were when Kennedy was shot, or you knew where you were when the Challenger exploded. Those kind of things. You know where you were when 9/11 happened. And it just didn't work out because it fizzled. They took it away from us. Right, but to the left, it was this January 6th thing is very similar to these Trump derangement sufferers. They don't understand. They don't get it. They don't understand why people are not jazzed up about it and excited. And when they sit around and talk about charging Trump with manslaughter and the death of Ashley Babbitt, well, that's perfectly plausible. Maybe we should look into that. It makes sense to them because they have Trump derangement syndrome. They have lost touch with the pulse of the American people. And when you're in media and you've lost touch with your audience, that's the end. I mean, if I didn't feel the pulse, and Steve, of our audience, where would we be? We know where you're at. You're where we are. Right? You lose that, you're done. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Coming up, I got another bit from MSNBC. You will not want to miss this. MSNBC did a focus group with people talking to them about January 6th, and it did not go the way that MSNBC planned it. In fact, I'm shocked that they aired it. I'll share that with you when we get back. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this. 465-2631. Be right back, guys. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're going to really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning at 10 a.m. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. Our daytime high today, 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Looks great. Really no chances of showers with northeast winds at about 10 miles an hour. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
Since I'm newly hydrated, I'm drinking water like mad. I've already had, this will when I get to this will be my third bottle of water today, and I got that IV treatment. I got to take more bathroom breaks than I normally would during the breaks, but I'm feeling a lot better that I'm hydrated. Everyone asking about Kathy. The surgery went well, but she is in massive, massive pain, and the medications they've given her for pain are not working. So I was just texting with her a little bit ago. She's in some of the worst pain she has ever experienced. You know, so unfortunately, I mean, that's just what's happening. Oh, man.
Starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Denise Hair Salon, one of the trendiest salons in Brooklyn, is officially in Boca. Known for its professionalism and uniquely talented staff, we're excited to offer a free consultation for every new client. We're looking forward to welcoming you to our new location. Book your appointment today and get 20% off any hair service.
Located at 7600 North Federal Highway in Boca, or check us out on IG at Denise Hair Salon and call 561.
Oh man, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video if you don't mind. That helps me out a lot. Oh man. Yeah, but Kathy's in a lot of pain. Yeah, the surgery went well. And she's got they moved her to a great room. Oh my goodness. If you go to my Instagram, you know, my social media links are on my website, briancraigshow.com. I took a picture from her hospital room, which you can see on my Instagram. Oh my goodness. It's a great view. You can see it on my Instagram if you take a look there. But now that I'm hydrated, I feel like so good. Oh my goodness. I was talking to the sales department. We got to get one of these hydration IV places as a sponsor on the program. I can tell right now how much better I'm feeling.
Businesses don't run on automation or algorithms alone. What powers businesses are your people and the people they serve.
Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. It's there's no cure. It's incurable. Bruce, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Smash the like button, you lurkers. Yes, thank you, Bruce. And everyone, please thank Bruce for that super chat. Awesome. Oh, man. It's our bottom of the hour break is our longest break of the hour.
Announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out
the news, traffic, weather, and all that stuff. Our bottom of the hour break is the longest break.
Almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-838-47.
Oh, I'm ready for the red wave. The blue flush. I like that. The blue flush and the red wave. Wouldn't that be a great hashtag? Should the hashtag be blue flush or the blue flush?
Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-838-4715. That's 800-838-4715. What do you have to lose? Call 800-838.
Well, if they would have showed us his body and things like that, people would have had some closure, but it's like it didn't even happen. You know? Blue Steel. Yeah, that's that guy on CNN. Blue Steel. From Zoolander. Who's the guy on CNN that does Blue Steel? I forgot his name.
You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone, night sweats gone. I've met listeners before and after.
I can't remember that guy's name. The guy that does the Blue Steel look. I can't do Blue Steel. You guys know who I'm talking about?
And they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel...
Oh, she is. They've tried 3 different pain medications on her. All right, we're getting ready to come back now. Here we go.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
Yes, we are back. It is the Steve Kane Show. I am Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. We've got so much going on. I will be getting to the Ron DeSantis, Charlie Crist debate coming up. I got to finish up with MSNBC first, guys. It was a great debate. I caught it, the whole thing. Got some clips from it. We'll talk about that. DeSantis is the best governor ever, isn't he? Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. But first, I want to tell you to call Sloman's, tell them you heard about them on the radio. I'm going to give you the number in a minute, and they're going to tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. You know, doorbell camera, it's convenient. I love it. I talk a lot about that, right? The Amazon deliveries, DoorDash. What else do we get? Do we get, the Instacart, and we can always see who's there, and that's great. Even talk to them sometimes. You know, if you want, you can talk to them anytime, but sometimes we'll talk to them, and you can do that. Yeah, put the groceries down over there. Appreciate it. I don't want to open up the door to my house to you. But it also gives you security. It gives you safety because you know, opening up the door is very dangerous. People, you know, you get solicitors in your neighborhood or someone knocks at your door, and you don't know really who's there. You don't know who's lurking around. You don't want to open your door. Little doorbell's not enough. With the doorbell camera that you can get for free from Sloman's, you can see day or night and high definition perfectly no matter where you are, not just on your mobile device, not just where you are in your home. Maybe you're in the bathroom, you can't get to the door, but maybe you're out of town. And they don't even know you're not home if you're interacting and talking to them. They think you're inside, even if you're not. It's very convenient. I love it. And it gives me safety and security for myself, and also when I'm not home and my wife and daughter are home without me, because I know when someone comes to the door. I'm going to give you the number right now. When you call Sloman's, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio, and they will tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. You really should get one. You'll love it, and it'll change your life, and then you'll tell all your friends about it too. Here's the number, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of the free offer to get that free doorbell camera. All right? Okay, so MSNBC. So the first part was, let me play the first clip again, and then because it's a goodie. Nicole Wallace, they want to charge Trump with manslaughter in the death of Ashley Babbitt.
Even if you were that deluded, quote, you may not send an armed mob to the Capitol, you may not sit for 187 minutes and refuse to stop the attack, you may not send out a tweet that incites further violence. It sounds like around the violence, she's looking at what the committee talks about as dereliction of duty. Is that actually a specific crime that you can charge someone of, Barbara?
So it's not a federal offense, but there actually is a really interesting legal theory here for manslaughter, which federal law defines as a death that occurs on federal property when a person acts with a reckless mens rea, a reckless mindset, or even gross negligence. And so Donald Trump, unlike most ordinary citizens, has not only a duty not to do something bad, he has an affirmative duty to take action to protect people. And so I think you could possibly put together a theory based on the facts that Liz Cheney just described to make Donald Trump responsible for the deaths that occurred that day.
That's incredible.
That's incredible. Oh man, let's get them together. Yes, the manslaughter. Oh, are you kidding me? And that makes perfect. These people are paid a lot of money to be on TV to spew that. So then that's in the afternoon on MSNBC. A little earlier in the day, MSNBC put together a focus group to talk to these people in this focus group about January 6th, which they think January 6th, and abortion, but this is about January 6th, this focus group. They think January 6th, that's what's going to do Trump ends. You know, this kangaroo committee of lame duck Liz Cheney, daughter of war criminal Dick Cheney, they thought that this was going to be it. It was going to be like the trial of Trump, and that was going to be it. And by the end of the committee, everyone in the country was going to wake up and hate him just as much as Liz Cheney does. And the opposite is true. So listen to this. The MSNBC focus group did not go according to plan. I'm in shock that MSNBC aired this. I think, in fact, they aired it because they were in such shock they didn't know what to do. Listen, MSNBC January 6th focus group.
Mastriano was at the insurrection and he was photographed breaching one of the restricted areas. Is that okay?
Which area? Because I saw a video where Capitol officers were taking away barriers and unlocking doors for people. So, I mean,
they opened the gates.
So it shouldn't be disqualified.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, because I was so excited, this is a focus group of Pennsylvania voters on the eve of this Oz-Fetterman race. And, of course, they got the governor's race, too.
Mastriano was at the insurrection, and he was photographed breaching one of the restricted areas. Is that okay?
which area? Because I saw a video where Capitol officers were taking away barriers and unlocking doors for people. So, I mean,
they opened the gates.
So it shouldn't be disqualifying for an elected official if they participated in January 6th?
He didn't strike anybody, he didn't hurt anybody.
And the only one that died was a protester there, not a Capitol police
unarmed
officer.
female veteran.
That's the only one that died.
That's the only one who died.
A police officer did die.
No, it was a stroke.
That's
not on site.
Caused by that. That's because he shouldn't have been a police officer.
This is amazing. Here you have regular, everyday Americans that are better informed than the NBC News lady.
So what do you make, though, overall of January 6th? I mean, watching that footage, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, there were people throwing excrement at the walls, and it was the Capitol.
It looked a lot like Antifa's actions.
Yeah, it looks a lot, except on a much smaller scale. It looked the same as the Black Lives Matter riots.
That's what I saw, the similarities to
around the country, not just one.
Burns, Kenosha.
But so it's okay just because one side that you disagree with
I'm
is
saying
okay
Antifa infiltrated.
It's good for one, it's good for the other.
Anybody who harms anybody who caused property destruction, that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah,
but if you're there making your voice heard at the people's house, no less, that's, again, it's a fundamental constitutional right of an American citizen, and people should not be being held political prisoner because of it.
For misdemeanors. That's East Germany.
That's East Germany.
Tactics.
Yeah, that's what's scary.
It was an actual fiery but mostly peaceful protest. And the other ones that were the opposite.
Was the protest legitimate in your eyes?
Administration, I feel like, is using it as their Reichstag fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're using it as.
Do you think that President Trump could have quelled the violence that day?
Not him.
I don't think
so,
no. I don't think so.
It started while he was still speaking. I was actually there. I was there to see what I thought was going to be the last time I ever saw Trump, a little guy.
So did he tell everybody to go and start riding?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, and actually, I stayed for the whole speech. Like, a ton of people did. And then we all headed to the Capitol because he said, let's go to the Capitol and peacefully let our voices be heard. And we get to the Capitol, we're like, what the hell's going on? Because it had already happened.
I'm pretty sure I saw Democratic operatives instigating people to cross barriers.
Wow, okay, so that's MSNBC's focus group of Pennsylvania voters. Oh my goodness. They just don't get it. People are, you know what it is with the American people? There's a lot of things in play here, but one of them is the American people are more informed about everything around them than they've ever been before. Because everything used to be fed to us by two newspapers, Washington Post and the New York Times, and then the three networks, right? ABC News, NBC Nightly News, and CBS News. And the rest of the media that covered political news just plagiarized what those sources had, right? The three networks and those two newspapers. And now there's so many ways to get information out. There's so many alternative sources. People know for the first time what is really going on. If Richard Nixon was president today, he never would have resigned from office. Either would Spiro Agnew, his vice president, his first vice president. They would have weathered it because people just didn't really understand, even still today, in large part, what was going on during Watergate. It was no big deal, what Richard Nixon did. And but they had the control of the narrative back then, and they could batter someone into submission, and they can't do it. They just can't market their ideas anymore. The mainstream media, they're not news. They're huge international conglomerates with lots of conflicting interest. Have you ever wondered about that, right? You ever wondered about that? and this is what I mean. They're influenced by the big mega corporation that owns the company. That's the news is just a small part of what these huge corporations really do. And what the news is there to do is to promote things and people that help the company on a bigger scale with whatever it is, whether it's manufacturing in China or something else. That's the way it is. The news is not the news. It's fake news, all of it, because it's not the news. It's a PR firm. Listen, we're going to take a break. When we get back, there's much more to talk about. We've just scratched the surface. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. We will get to some calls. Don't go anywhere. We've just scratched the surface. Oh, man. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. This is awesome stuff. My name is Brian Craig. This is awesome stuff, guys. All right, so I went through those two. Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Anderson Cooper is next. He is next.
Massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser.
Oh, man. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, please like the video. Liking the video helps me out a lot. It spreads the word about this program and all my other videos to people that have not yet found me, which of course is the ultimate goal. I've got so much stuff here, I'm just not sure where to go next. I'm so excited. I know you guys are excited too, right? I mean, this is just going to be awesome.
No surgery and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free.
Oh, yes.
954-973-0710. 954-973-0710.
I know what I'm going to get into after the break.
You heard about him on the radio.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are?
Hold on, where is that story?
Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare
Where is that
questions.
story?
954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest
Yeah, I'm going to do that in the next hour.
or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
After the top of the hour break, I'm going to get into that Republican who was beaten in Miami, who was campaigning for Marco Rubio, because he's a Republican. Of course, the media are justifying the beatdown now, but I'll do that. I'm going to do that after the top of the hour. Oh man, it's not going well for him.
There's also incredible savings on the 6-piece MyPillow towel set.
Of course, thank you to all the mods in the group who elevate the show to a whole new level because I don't have to get distracted by trolls in the chat. Thanks to the mods. So everyone, give a big thank you. Shout out to all the mods if you don't mind.
1-800-716-4879.
Oh, Red Velvet Cake is awesome.
716-4879. Promo code KANE. K-A-N-E.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh man, do we have a lot to talk about today. After the top of the hour, I've got something big. Don't touch that dial, okay? Because after the top of the hour break, I'm going to go into a story that is pretty outrageous, and what the media are doing with it is very disgusting. But first, I want to ask you a question. Are you in pain? If you're in pain, you don't have to be. Call Dr. Appleton. Talk to him about his laser away pain system. Steve's going in on Thursday, I believe, to talk with Dr. Appleton about his hip pain. You know, laser away pain, the system of Dr. Appleton's, it works. It's worked on me. He rid me of my knee pain that I'd been suffering from for years and years. I find myself more energetic in the mornings because I'm not suffering with pain. But it helps with more than just knee pain. Laser away pain system helps with acute and chronic pain, herniated discs, rotary tears, neuropathy, fibromyalgia, sciatica, tinnitus, knee conditions, neck and back injuries, post-surgical problems, like if you've had knee surgery or shoulder surgery, repetitive motion injuries, sprains and strains, work injuries, sports injuries, arthritis, bursitis, and a lot of other things I cannot even pronounce. So I'm not going to even try to do that. But if you've got pain, Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system can help you. Give him a call. It's a completely free consultation with Dr. Appleton. If you mention you heard about him on the radio, no appointments are necessary and walk-ins are welcome because Dr. Appleton knows when you are in pain, you need help, you need relief now. And remember, with laser away pain, there's no drugs, no surgery, no downtime, and no injections. You can find him online at AppletonChiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Once again, 954-973-0710. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, so that's MSNBC in a total panic. And, you know, this new media we have that's going on, that's going after these people, they just can't handle it. So Anderson Cooper was confronted by a citizen journalist with, I guess, an iPhone. You know, when the late, great Andrew Breitbart was around. Do you guys, am I the only one who misses Andrew Breitbart? You know, Andrew Breitbart, who took someone under his wing and taught him what it is that he does, started Project Veritas. That's right, James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe started out as a young man working under and learning from the great Andrew Breitbart. And I remember Andrew Breitbart, remember that CPAC speech? He spoke at CPAC and said that he had, remember Obama was still in office, he had come into the possession of some tapes involving Barack Obama that were going to expose Barack Obama like he had never been exposed before. Remember that? And then, like, not long after that, he just, boom, he died, dropped dead. I'm not saying there was some conspiracy around it, but he dropped dead not long after that, walking home from a restaurant in Brentwood, California. Oh, man. But I remember once, this was a long time ago, Andrew Breitbart passed away a long time ago. But I saw him on television once, and it was so long ago, he had a flip phone. And he opened up a flip phone that had some type of video capability, and he said, because of this, and he was holding up the flip phone, he says, everyone's a journalist now. You can go around and capture news on this device and spread it to the world now. That was Andrew Breitbart. And man, was he right. And he was certainly the beginning of something. So a citizen journalist with, I guess, I'm assuming it's an iPhone, confronted Anderson Cooper on a story he did on 60 Minutes. There's some bleeps here. I added them. The bleeps are of Anderson Cooper using the F word. And let me tell you something. This is something that when I first heard this, I thought this was nuts. Anderson Cooper is with the CIA. Now, yeah, that's right. That's right. When he was in college, he spent 2 summers interning at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. Who does that, right? He's CIA. So here's a citizen journalist with his cell phone confronting Anderson Cooper on some story on 60 Minutes, which I'm not really interested in it, but it still proves a point. Listen to this. So this guy, he's following Anderson Cooper down the sidewalk into a public building, all the way till Anderson gets to a private office. Again, the bleeps I added, and it's Anderson Cooper. Every bleep you hear, it's Anderson Cooper where he used the F word that I bleeped out.
Anderson, did a story on the VTOLs for 60 Minutes. Why didn't you tell the viewers they weren't commercials? for Joby, Lyft, and Whisk? Did you have investments in Joby, Whiskey, or Lyft? Why didn't you show Joby on the American Stock Exchange during the bill? Why didn't you tell viewers that the stock was down 66%? Did you know Joby's stock, no stock from Larry?
Okay, now while this is going on, I don't know what the guy's asking about. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you in a moment. He's following Anderson Cooper down the sidewalk into a building upstairs, and Anderson's getting very annoyed, and he just keeps asking these questions.
Page. Sorry, from Larry Page.
Did you hear that? That was Anderson Cooper. Let me rewind it.
6%. Did you know Joby's stock, no stock from Larry Page? Sorry, from Larry Page. Dumped Kitty Hawk. Do you know Kim Kardashian was tracked by the SEC for touting stocks? It seems like you were doing the same thing. Did you have investments in those eVTOLs?
Okay. Now, the reason I don't know what the guy's asking about, and it doesn't matter, some story that Anderson Cooper reported on 60 Minutes. Anderson Cooper should be excited that there's actually a guy who watched 60 Minutes. No one watches that anymore. But the reason I played this, see, this is what I'm talking about with these Trump derangement sufferers in the mainstream media. For the first time, they're being held accountable. They've never been held accountable. They could go on television or go in print and say and report anything, and it was taken as the gospel. They've never been challenged, and they're not capable of handling the challenges. And someone as sophisticated as Anderson Cooper, Gloria Vanderbilt's son, that's right, he's of the blue blood Vanderbilt family. His mother was in a relationship with Howard Hughes, and he's CIA. Even a guy like that lost it. All that special training and education and finishing school and Gentleman's Quarterly, and he's like a Mr. GQ. Even he couldn't handle, because he's part of the fake news, CNN, he could not handle being questioned. And I'll tell you something that makes you think about Anderson Cooper. Those of you who don't think he is an intelligence officer with the CIA, when's the first time you heard of Anderson Cooper? Think about this. I'll tell you when I first heard about him. He had a show called The Mole, which was a reality show. And The Mole, it was after Survivor and reality shows were real big. The Mole, very unique. They brought it back recently on Netflix. I've not watched it, but The Mole was very good when Anderson Cooper was hosting it. It was kind of like The Amazing Race with a twist. It was a group of Americans who were traveling the world, completing tasks at each destination around the world. And each time they completed a task, money got put into the pot, and the final victor would win it all. However, one of the contestants was the Mole. They worked for the show, and their job was to sabotage as many tasks as they could. And the final winner of the show was the one who guessed who the Mole was, the spy. That whole show could only have been created by someone who interned 2 summers at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. There's no getting around it. And Anderson Cooper totally lost it there. The media have lost their juice, they've lost their power, and we are winning. Now, after the top of the hour break, don't go anywhere, because after the top of the hour break, I've got a couple stories for you do not want to miss. And, oh man, just things are going so well, all this winning. Remember President Trump used to say you're going to get sick of winning. He doesn't say that anymore, because you know what? I think he realized you can never get sick of winning. I know I'm not sick of winning. I love winning. You love winning, and we're winning. You can tell by these clips I'm playing from the mainstream media and their complete meltdowns. Well, I want to take a moment to tell you guys about Anne Marie's. You know, I'm a big Italian guy, man. I love Italian food. It is my favorite food, and I just love Italian food. The problem is finding great Italian food. Very difficult to find until we found Anne Marie's right here on Pompano on the corner of Copans Road and US 1 Federal Highway. In fact, the northwest corner in the same plaza as the movie theater. You know, this is family owned and operated. These are grandma's recipes. Everything is homemade right there. The sauce is homemade. You know, these other restaurants, you know, everything, you know what they cook with? Microwaves. Not at Anne Marie's. Every dish I've had there is spectacular and tastes homemade. Oh man, I love it. I love it. And the pasta is out of this world. I know a lot of you have eaten at Anne Marie's and have called in and shared your experiences. And it's hard for me to pick a favorite because every time I go to Anne Marie's, I order something different because I want to experience as much of the menu as I can so I can tell you guys about it. And every time I go, I have another favorite dish. Now, of course, they're open for lunch, dinner, and takeout at Anne Marie's. And the lunch menu, they have great lunch specials that they serve till 2 p.m. And the baked ziti, which is on the lunch menu, is very, very good. The garlic rolls, if you've not had the garlic rolls at Anne Marie's, you've never really had garlic rolls, I'm here to tell you. And Steve and I are always raving about the lobster ravioli appetizer, which is also available as an entree. 3 large homemade ravioli stuffed with chunks of Maine lobster, and it's the best part of the lobster, that claw meat. Oh man, and it goes with anything that you order. Even if you take one of their incredible pizzas. Their pizzas are out of this world. I'll talk more about their pizza later on when Steve joins us. Anne Marie's, right here in Pompano, the northwest corner of Copans Road and US 1 Federal Highway, in the same plaza as the movie theater. They have a wine club over there too, and a great collection of wine. So if you're a wine drinker, oh man, I had a bottle of wine over the weekend from Anne Marie's. Unbelievable. Oh man, it was great. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back after this. Unbelievable. Oh man, it's great. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back after this.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. Our daytime high today, 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies, looks great. Really no chances of showers, so northeast winds at about 10 miles an hour.
570-5700. Robes winning for you and our community. Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center. Have a laugh with some funny memes and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
Still very quiet this morning for the Palm Beach commute. 95 on the Turnpike remain crash free, moving up the speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. We do have some more volume on 441 heading northbound approaching Atlantic Avenue. Some more volume on.
Where is that? Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got. When I get back from the break, I'm going to get into that story of the Republican who was attacked by the Democrats in Miami yesterday. You may have heard about it. Oh my goodness. Brutal attack. Mm.
Terms and cost apply. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now.
They said Republicans aren't allowed in their neighborhood, and they beat him down so bad he's going to need major surgery. I'm going to get into this story. It's amazing. The media are now justifying the attack, right? That's how they roll.
Who has signed a plea deal whereby he gets 100 days for his 15 admitted crimes, but that can balloon up to 15 years if he fails to tell the truth.
ABC News legal analyst Jeff Robbins. Drop in gas prices in the last week. The government's national average price for a gallon of regular.
Where am I? Here we are. By the way, guys, make sure you subscribe. And, don't forget, one of our YouTube chat guys wrote this book, Pool Boy to the Mob, Everybody Out of the Pool. Robert Allen Miltenberg. This book's available on Amazon. It has great reviews. And what happened here, the author, He, in the 70s, when he was a young guy, worked at a mob-owned hotel in Miami Beach, and this book's all about it. Robert Allen Miltenberg, Pool Boy to the Mob. It's on Amazon. Great reviews. He watches on YouTube but doesn't chat for some reason. So, but give him some support if you don't mind. Oh, we're back. Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Oh, man. My name is Brian Craig. Steve will be joining us in progress a little later this morning. Did you see this story of the Republican who was beaten to a pulp in Miami yesterday just because he was a Republican? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And now, of course, I'm going to read you the story that came out. Now the media are defending the beatdown, which I'll get to after. But listen to this. A Republican campaign volunteer was brutally beaten by people who said Republicans weren't allowed in their area. He was in Hialeah. He said Republicans aren't allowed in Hialeah. That's right, a Republican campaign volunteer was brutally beaten by people who said Republicans weren't allowed in their area. Florida GOP Senator Marco Rubio said Monday morning. The canvasser was clad in Marco Rubio campaign gear and that of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, said Senator Rubio. Senator Rubio tweeted this: "Last night, one of our canvassers wearing my t-shirt and a DeSantis hat was brutally attacked by 4 animals who told him Republicans weren't allowed in their neighborhood. He suffered internal bleeding." How bad do you have to be beaten to suffer internal bleeding? "He suffered internal bleeding, a broken jaw, and will need facial reconstructive surgery." Later that same day, Hialeah police arrested a 22-year-old suspect named Javier Lopez, according to a statement. However, it made no mention of the political animosity Rubio described. Lopez told the 27-year-old volunteer that he was not allowed to walk on the sidewalk and pass out flyers in his neighborhood, according to Hialeah Police Sergeant Jose Torres. The victim, in order to avoid the confrontation, walked across the street, where he was again confronted by Mr. Lopez. During a verbal dispute, Mr. Lopez struck the victim multiple times in the face and head, causing injuries. A request for further details about the canvasser sent to Rubio's campaign was referred to the state Republican Party. Hialeah is a part of Miami, all right? It's a little city in Dade County where, apparently Republicans aren't allowed. The Hialeah mayor, Esteban Bovo, is a Republican, but the county overall is a Democrat county. State lawmakers and former GOP, when she called police on him, not the time that he killed her, the time when he beat her up. I mean, his face is swollen, he's bleeding, he's in an ambulance. This is some of that citizen journalism I was telling you about. These are the kinds of things in the past we wouldn't even see. Someone took some pictures on their cell phone and got them out there, and now it's news. And the media, of course, are defending this. Listen to this. So that story was reported all over the place yesterday. That was in the Daily Mail, but I also saw it on Newsmax, Breitbart. So now they got an update. Revealed. Marco Rubio canvasser attacked on Miami sidewalk was a notorious local neo-Nazi. Well, wait a minute. This guy is Cuban-American. Can you be Hispanic and be a Nazi? To be a Nazi, one of the requirements is you be Aryan, white. You can't be a Nazi if you're not an Aryan white. Anyway, revealed, the headline reads, Marco Rubio canvasser attacked on Miami sidewalk was a notorious local neo-Nazi nicknamed the Cuban Confederate, who marched with white supremacists at the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. That's right. So it's okay. Well, I've seen the photographs. I didn't see any Nazi emblems on him. He was wearing a shirt that said Marco Rubio, U.S. Senate. Okay? And I think he might have had a DeSantis hat on. I didn't see any Nazi things on him. Unless you're one of these liberals who think that Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio are Nazis. I tell you, these liberals, they're out of their minds. But you know what? Even if it's a Nazi and they're just walking down the street with their Nazi stuff, you can't beat them to cause eternal bleeding. It's America. And I love how the media, and they have this picture of him that they say is at the Unite the Right rally, and they have him wearing a helmet with a symbol on it that I don't quite get. They're saying he's a white supremacist. Now, they're calling he's Cuban, he's Hispanic, he's a Latino. How can someone with brown skin be a white supremacist? Can someone explain that to me? To be a white supremacist, don't you have to have white skin, not brown skin? He's got brown skin. He can't be a white supremacist. White supremacists do not allow non-white people in the organization. I mean, this is just bizarre. And I love how the media, they're just into this knee-jerk thing, right? Because they got to get this out of the headlines. This, you know, the Daily Mail reported the original incident, and the Daily Mail is the most widely read English-speaking newspaper in the world. So this story went out in the largest circulated English-speaking publication on the planet, the Daily Mail. So the media, the Democrats, they're in a media panic mode. What are we going to do? This story got out. They shouldn't have reported it, but they did. Oh, yeah. He's out there for DeSantis and Marco Rubio. He's a white supremacist. But he's Cuban. He's Hispanic. English is his second language. His skin is brown. No, he's a white supremacist. Now, I don't know. I mean, I maybe I just don't have an understanding of such things. But I think that to call a man who's Hispanic with brown skin a white supremacist is a bit bizarre in my mind. But let me read this story. Yes, that's right, white supremacist. He's not white. A man who was attacked while out canvassing for Florida GOP Senator Marco Rubio is revealed to be a local neo-Nazi who speaks Spanish and has brown skin. He was identified by the mayor of Hialeah. The Daily Beast, another liberal publication, reported that the victim was spotted at the 2017 Unite the Right rally, where white nationalists held a torchlight procession through the streets, resulting in the death of a counter-protester. I mean, you know, they really think you and me and all of us are stupid. They really do. They think we're all stupid and will buy whatever line of BS they give us. I got news for you. You cannot have brown skin and be a white supremacist. You cannot be non-white and be a Nazi. And by the way, even if someone is a white supremacist or a Nazi, I mean, that's a terrible thing to be. If they're out doing their own thing and not hurting anyone, you can't attack them. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Can you have brown skin and be a Nazi, Richie? I'm confused.
No, you can't. But you could have white skin and be a Nazi. And
yeah, but this guy is brown.
No, here's the deal, my friend. The people from Spain are right next door to Italy, and you have a lot of blonde-haired bangers.
This guy's not blonde-haired. I'm looking at him. He is brown with black hair.
Yeah, he had black hair, but regardless, you're right. He shouldn't have gotten beaten up.
But he's not white. To be a Nazi, to be a white supremacist requires white skin.
You also brought up real quick. You brought up journalists with cell phones. The biggest thing was this Capitol building. They never expected anyone to take video of guards opening up, police opening up gates and letting them walk in and say hello.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Capitol. That was on the other side.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Richie, I got to run for a break. Take care. Richie's confusing fascist with Nazi white supremacist. All right, listen, we're going to take our first break of the hour. When we get back, we'll get into the DeSantis Crist debate. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. With Nazi white supremacist. All right, listen, we're going to take our first break. Be right back, guys. When we get back, we'll get into the DeSantis Crist debate. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Wake up and smell the truth. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
Hey, it's John Tesh. Are you a sales professional looking to take your career to the next level? Join the sales team of one of the fastest growing radio stations in Palm Beach County. We're looking for a self-motivated closer to join the ranks and be a part of not only the most fun radio group in South Florida, but the one that pays the highest commission. Email your resume to jobs@bcmglive.com. You can be a part of a great industry that's fun and has a six-figure income potential. If you're a sales professional who has worked in the advertising sales industry or a recent college graduate looking to start your career, email your resume to jobs.
Oh, man. If you're new here, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Okay? I'll have a new podcast today, by the way, guys. You don't want to miss that. Oh, my goodness. Tell me yes or no in the chat. Can a person with brown skin be a white supremacist? Yes or no? Am I off on that? What am I missing? Maybe it's possible. Yes or no? Brown skin? Can you be a white supremacist? Oh my goodness. Okay, I thought I was losing my mind, guys. I thought I was losing my mind. Where'd you hear that at, Liz? Yourself? Unless you're conservative, yes. That's like being a Jewish Nazi. It's not possible. I don't have time for a drink of water. Next break.
Racing for the phone. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Callers on hold, stand by. I'd like to know, can you have brown skin and be a white supremacist? We're trying to figure this out. Oh, my goodness. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is our number. 888-465-2631. But first, I want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire and Margate. I've been buying tires from Friendly Tire and Margate for about 15 years or so. And the tires are so, both new and used, are so low. New tires as low as $70 a tire. And, you know, when you call Friendly Mike and he gives you a quote over the phone, that's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire does not charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. And they became a sponsor, Friendly Tire, on the program. I'll tell you what happened. Steve, every time he needed to buy new tires, he told me the day after, oh, I got tires yesterday, and he'd tell me how much they cost. And I said, next time, let me know. I'll take you over to Friendly Tire in Margate, and they're going to just blow your mind away with the low prices. And I told him what the price of his tires would be, $75 a tire, brand new, out the door and on the road. He didn't believe me. He came in one day, and he had his van, and the belts were showing, and he's like, oh, I got to get tires after the show. And this was the first time in years I'd caught Steve getting tires before he bought them. So I gave him the number, and he called Friendly Mike. He gave him the price. Steve still didn't believe it, but he went over there. And about, 20 minutes later, my phone rings. It's Steve. He's like, you were right. You were right. The tires are so affordable over here. $75 a tire, brand new, out the door and on the road for new tires on his van. I said, yeah. Why did it take you all these years to believe me, Steve? And the next day, we were doing spots for them on the air. We have listeners that drive a couple hours away each way because the tire prices are so low at Friendly Tire in Margate. By the way, thousands of used tires in stock that are good quality used tires, $30 on most sizes. I'm going to give you the number. Call Mike. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio. Okay, let's go to our phones. Hispanic Cuban with brown skin, Republican, beaten almost to death, causing internal bleeding in Miami yesterday. I know it was Hialeah, but we'll just call it Miami. And the media are calling him a white supremacist today, justifying the beatdown. And I'm trying to figure out how you can have brown skin and be a white supremacist. I don't know. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee.
Hey, and your question is really kind of ridiculous. I don't know if you are familiar with history, but the Cubans in Miami are people who ran away from Cuba. And the reason they had a revolution in Cuba is because they're racist just like you. And if I remember correctly, George Zimmerman is pretty racist, if I remember correctly. And he's Hispanic, isn't he?
Okay, now stop down. Thanks for the call, by the way, Renee. You bring up some good points, and we'll talk. You can be any skin color and be racist, right? You can be black and be racist. You can be white and be racist. You can be an Indian like Gandhi and be a racist. You can be an Eskimo and be a racist. But there's a specific type of racist that this guy's being called, a white supremacist in the media. You cannot be a white supremacist and not be white. In George Zimmerman's case, whether or not he was a racist or not, he is a Hispanic, brown-skinned Jew. You cannot be a white supremacist and be a Jew and be non-white. This guy that was beaten in Miami is brown-skinned. You may say he's a racist, maybe, I don't know, but he certainly can't be a white supremacist as the media has labeled him when he has brown skin, correct?
No.
Oh, you can be non-white, you can have brown skin and be a white supremacist? Tell me about that.
That is just a ridiculous distinction.
Well, the media are saying he's a well-known white supremacist.
The only one making a distinction here.
Well, tell me how you can be a white supremacist. Hold on. Tell me how you can be a white supremacist and have brown skin. Explain that to me.
That's a ridiculous assertion.
They're calling him white supremacist.
The man got beat down because he's a racist.
What did he do that's racist?
Didn't you just read the particulars about his whole bio?
Tell me, what did he do that's racist?
Look.
Okay, if someone's a racist, and they're not hurting anyone, it's okay to beat them almost to death and cause internal bleeding?
Yeah, you deserve.
Oh. Well, that's assault and battery. That's a crime.
Yeah, like George Zimmerman deserves a serious beat.
Oh, okay. So you advocate violence against people. That's okay. I get it. That's nice. All right. Well, we don't advocate that on this program. Goodbye. Oh my goodness. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Okay. I mean, things are getting real bad. Renee in Harlem says you can have brown skin and be a white supremacist. He says it's possible.
There's a lot of human beings are not quite what
having brown skin and being a white supremacist is the same as being Jewish and being a Nazi. You cannot be Jewish and a Nazi unless they don't know you're a Jew, okay? And you may be able to sneak in, But come on.
Really, I'm telling people, this is as dumb as cows. Don't tell you that, and that's an insult to cows. But anyway, what amazes me is how many Democrats are still around. Carrie Lake is up by 3 points. She should be up by 30 points. I mean, what is wrong with people?
Yeah, and yesterday there was a poll that had Dr. Oz up 4.5 points, and now I read a story that says Fetterman's ahead. Who are they polling? Stroke victims? What demo is that in?
I'm telling you, how many people, and they're raising money too. Where are they getting this money from?
Yeah.
I mean, MSNBC, like you just played, had regular Americans there, and obviously they're not as dumb as most people.
As the reporters on MSNBC.
They certainly know more than the reporter.
All right. Hey, Conservative Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Poppin' Up.
Oh, hey, Ben.
So I actually was listening to that conversation with that imbecile you were having who was saying that, he's a white supremacist.
A brown white supremacist, yes.
Yeah, so I think you might have played the clip where MSNBC, so he's taking a page out of the MSNBC book where you can have what they call a black face, but you don't represent black voices.
You're white on the inside.
Right. So, and that's what they said about Winsome Sears. Or what did that guy say? He said that a black lips are moving, but a white tongue is inside. And so, what they believe is, if you are, you're black or whatever, but you have ideas that are pretty much conservative or Republican, you're therefore white supremacist. So that guy who didn't, who really didn't articulate.
Renee from Harlem.
Yeah. So, it's...
You know who I think Renee really is, calling from Harlem? You guys will think I'm nuts. But this person's kind of retired now. I think that's Spike Lee. I think Spike Lee calls it... I'm serious. I think Renee from Harlem... I've thought this for a while, and I haven't shared it. But I think he's Spike Lee. Listen to his voice. He sounds like Spike Lee, listening to us in Harlem. He talks like him, and he's got the same voice.
Right. He doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, Spike's retired in his mansion.
I know, and he just kind of faded into irrelevancy because he only did a few good movies, and then his political.
We've had celebrity callers. We've had celebrity callers on this program, and they call with fake names sometimes. It's happened.
I think they're just getting angry because it's a reaction to the fact that more and more every day, the racism, Republicans throughout the 90s, I remember...
Well, listen, I'm out of time. I got to run for our break, but thanks for the call, all right? All right. Listen, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us after the break. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this break. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us after the break. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this break. I'm telling you, I love being hydrated. I have to pee all the time, but I feel better and more energetic. I mean, it's only been a couple days. I hope I can maintain it. I've done this before, and I fall off the hydration wagon and get dehydrated again. But, oh man, I'm becoming addicted to being hydrated. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. All right, so what do I got here? Let's see here. Yes. Okay, I've got 3 clips from the DeSantis Charlie Crist debate, which is tonight is Fetterman and Dr. Oz. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. All right, hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Hey guys, make sure that you like the video. Liking the video does me a big favor. It really does. It lets YouTube and that algorithm know to recommend this video and my other videos to people that have not yet discovered my channel. So please take a moment to like the video. That helps me so much, guys. Oh, man. That's right.
And have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906.
Well, look at the history of people who have defended themselves, right? Darrell Brooks, Ted Bundy. People that defend themselves are like always guilty. The guilty defend themselves.
They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. Sure, you mentioned you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Denise Hair Salon, one of the trendiest salons in Brooklyn, is officially in Boca. Known for its professionalism and uniquely talented staff, we're excited to offer a
Oh, man. Have you all liked the video and subscribed? Oh, Steve will be joining us after the break. I'm going to get to the DeSantis Crist debate. Did you guys see Carrie Lake on Hannity last night? She's always good, Carrie Lake, isn't she? Drag show in a church? That's crazy.
I invite you to join me at the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, because here we're all about community. With like-minded people and businesses, the Chamber will help your business grow, and you get to connect with people that will become your best friends. Weekly events give you ample opportunities to learn alongside talented professionals. At the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, we are better together. Become a member at delraybeach.com.
Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company. Family owned, family operated. Where Grandma Carrie Ann herself is in the kitchen. Amazing pizza, sizzling Philly steaks, salads, pasta, subs, and much more. Live music, patio seating, and 2-for-1 on all beer and wine for Ladies' Night every Wednesday. Mention Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 and receive a 15% discount. Come visit us today at Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, your local family-owned Italian restaurant, located on the corner of Copans Road and Federal Highway. That's Copans Road and Federal Highway. Anne-Marie's. We'll see you here.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember Liberty Mutual...
That's the last commercial.
We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Your face. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. All right, callers on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the phones in a minute. Steve is here, but I tell you guys, you know, there was a time that I had a knock on the door. Some of you that listen for a long time may have heard me tell this story. This was crazy. I got a knock on the door, and I did something stupid. I went and opened up the door, and it was a homeless guy, and he was asking for money, and kind of freaked me out. And I went to shut the door, and he put his foot in the door, so I couldn't shut it. And I had to push him out of the door, and I shut the door and locked it, and then he started banging on the window, and I called the police and all that stuff. That was very risky. That was almost a home invasion, and pretty scary. Listen, guys, call Sloman's. They're going to tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera, which will change your life, okay? No matter where you're located, the bathroom, the living room, or in Nome, Alaska, you can see who is at your front door and even speak to them. And you can see it in high definition. There's even night vision. It records, and it can be connected to your security system. It's really an amazing thing. I have one. It's amazing. Now, I never answer the door. I can always see who is there. And most of the time, I don't want to answer the door. What I use it for mostly is, we get deliveries. Amazon, DoorDash, Instacart, right? They bring, and I can see who's there. You can even talk to them through the doorbell camera, even if you're not home, and they think you're home, right? They come and bring my groceries from Instacart, and I can say, hey, can you put them down over there so I can, it's an awesome thing. And you can get a doorbell camera for free. I'm going to give you the number. Call Sloman's. They'll tell you how you can do it. It will change your life. Here's the number, toll free, 833-283-5050. No matter where you're located, give them a call. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. Call Sloman's. They'll tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. All right, well, lots going on, Steve. Lots happening here.
Yes, there is. What did you think of the debate last night?
Are you talking about the Charlie Crist, Ron DeSantis? Oh, I got 3 clips from that I wanted to play. And, of course, Ron DeSantis not only won, he devastated fanboy Charlie Crist, and it was, and
it's a testable list, no question.
He's like the worst used car salesman I've ever seen. That
crowd, for crying out, Coliseum.
Well, they had a limited crowd in there. I saw it, and there were these African American women wearing pink shirts. I don't know what the significance of the pink shirts were or who they were. What main organization they were with, but they were with Charlie Crist, and their job was to make it seem like Charlie Crist was popular and liked and everything else, and to disrupt DeSantis when he talked. They shouldn't have an audience in any debate. They should be audience free, in my opinion.
Yes, I mean, that was awful.
It was, but Charlie Crist was destroyed. I got 3 clips I want to play, and Charlie Crist kept asking him if he was going to run against Joe Biden in 2024, Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis had a great answer. Listen to this.
Well, listen, I know that Charlie's interested in talking about 2024 and Joe Biden, but I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn-out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist.
I like that one. That was a good one. I like that. That was, yeah.
But I must say that there was one moment where DeSantis really looked uncomfortable.
Oh.
And did you spot it?
No, tell me.
Because, DeSantis is usually pretty relaxed and pretty cool.
Happy birthday, Rome. Everyone say happy birthday to Rome, Wisconsin.
It didn't strike you, huh?
No, well, tell me. No, I did. I must have missed it.
It was the one moment I'll tell you and then see if you recognize it. Looking back on it, the moment where Crist asked DeSantis if he could look at the audience and tell him that he wasn't going to run for the presidency.
Mm-hmm. In 24.
Ever remember DeSantis looking genuinely uncomfortable. I mean, not only was he stuck for an answer, he didn't answer for a while. He stood there floundering for a while. And I'm surprised he wasn't prepared for that, because there was a...
Well, he was. His response was what I just played. But I got a different take. I know the moment you're talking about, and DeSantis said to the lady that was moderating, "Is it my time yet? Is it my turn?" He was waiting until it was his turn to speak, and he didn't. I guess he made a decision. He didn't want to get into a situation where he was being grilled by Charlie Crist with his fan.
Whatever it was not a great moment for DeSantis.
Yeah, but overall, he won it, and...
yeah, I mean, there's no question of that. Although Crist is smooth, I mean, there's no getting around.
No, he's a sleaze. Okay, here's another one. Here's our great governor, Ron DeSantis.
The country, and here in Florida, lawmakers are divided on the issue of gender transitions for minors. The Florida Department of Health has held firm that there are risks associated with certain puberty-blocking and hormone therapies for children, despite pushback from the federal government and other states. Where do you stand on minors undergoing so-called gender-affirming medical procedures and therapies? Governor?
Well, so-called is important because when they say gender-affirming care, they mean giving puberty blockers to teenage girls and teenage boys. They mean doing double mastectomies on young girls. They mean chemically castrating young boys. That is wrong. We are not going to allow that to happen in the state of Florida. A lot of kids go through a lot of different things. A lot of the dysphoria resolves itself by the time they become adults. And we have a number of people that have spoken out in favor of what we're doing to say you should not mutilate minors. And they went through this when they were minors. Now they're adults and they regret it. And other countries in Europe that went down this road have now backtracked. And so we're doing the right thing. It's inappropriate to be doing basically what's genital mutilation.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was good. I thought he was spot on.
Handle that. Well, that's an easy question. I mean, that's designed to be knocked out of the park. But to get back to the moment that bothered me a little bit, I have convinced myself that one of the reasons that we, the Republican Party, is doing so well is because people have kept their ambitions in check, and that we have all kind of accepted the fact that it's the Trump turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been unsuccessful in getting us to turn on each other, and that's very important because that's one of their basic tactics. And it surprised me that
he did answer it. He just didn't answer it the first time Charlie Crist asked him.
He didn't answer it. He had to be asked a couple of times. He was close.
And then he answered it with this.
I know that Charlie's interested in talking about 2024 and Joe Biden, but I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn-out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist.
Yeah, okay.
That
was the answer.
A while for him to get it out, but there's a reason this upsets me. It's because if my preconception about this, that this has been kind of an agreement that they have, because after the election is over, they're really going to come after him to try to create dissension. That's the only thing, the only take on this. And if that is not prearranged, if that transition is not handled smoothly, they could create problems.
He has said many times he's not running against Trump.
That's why I was so surprised that he didn't say, that.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to run for vice president with Donald Trump in 24. Maybe that's why he didn't answer it right away. Or maybe he just didn't want to be. Maybe he just didn't want to be pushed around by this lunatic with a fan in his crotch, Charlie Crist. Maybe it was just that. I don't know. But I think he did well.
With a fan, did they?
He has no. This is an old thing, and Charlie Crist has always had a fan in his crotch at every debate. This debate began by them saying, "By the way, one of the candidates has a fan on the floor next to the podium," and they showed the fan, and it blows right up to Charlie's crotch. I'm not exactly sure. This is my last clip. Let me play this before the break. We don't have much time, but this was a good moment, too, with DeSantis.
And, I hear Charlie Crist talk about some of this other stuff. He as a congressman made $174,000 a year. You know how many days he showed up to work in Washington, D.C. this year? 14 days. Imagine that deal for you. You show up 14 days and you make over $100,000. That's the type of effort this guy puts into actually doing his job.
Wow, that was shocking. That was shocking to me. Just what's he do the other days? Hangs out on the beach with that tan, I guess. Yeah, listen, we're up against the break. Well, they're bums. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Attendance problem. It's a couple of the Democrats.
Yeah, listen, we're up against the break. Well, they're bums. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
They're the most polarizing talk show hosts in all of South Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Hey, it's John Tesh. Are you a sales professional looking to take your career to the next level? Join the sales.
Yeah, I'm getting texts from Kathy.
Palm Beach County. We're looking for a self-motivated.
Yeah, she is not. She's having some complications.
But the one that pays the highest commission. Email your resume to jobs@vcmglive.com. You can be a part of a great industry that's fun and has a six-figure income potential. But if you're a sales professional who has worked in the advertising sales industry or a recent college graduate looking to start your career, email your resume to jobs@vcmglive.com. A great job with the highest radio sales commissions in Palm Beach County awaits you. VCMG is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We have been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Attention boys and ghouls, it's Halloween, and you need a costume.
Costume World in Pompano Beach has everything you'll need for Halloween. Rentals of retail, wigs, makeup, and more. With over 42,000 square feet, Costume World has everything you need for Halloween. Costume World, 2313 Northwest 30th Place, Pompano Beach, 800-423-7496. Costume World, 800-423-7496.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs, on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, and then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked this group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
Dean Miuccio, a former cop now policing the airwaves. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. Smarter than 95,000 programs of B6. Get smarter with the Steve Kane Show. Morning 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Call is on hold. Stand by. Our number, 1-888-GO, Kane, 1-888-465-2631. Steve and I have a vacation coming up in just a couple of months. It's our annual listener cruise that we do, the Steve Kane MAGA Cruise that leaves January 28th. And this is a very, very true story. I talk about this sometimes, and people think I just, no. What Steve and I talk about in the spots is real stuff, people. the way that our listener cruise began is I needed a vacation. I'd not had a vacation, and I talked Steve into making this listener cruise thing a reality, and that's my yearly vacation, which I've not had in a couple years because the cruise industry got shut down because of COVID. But our next cruise, I think this is our 4th cruise, Steve. And when we took our first 7-day cruise, it was the first time that I had had an entire week off of work in 20 years. It's true. When my daughter was born, she came home from the hospital, I took a week off, and I didn't have a week off for 20 years until our cruise. This one is an exciting one. We leave out of Fort Lauderdale January 28th for 7 days. It's a great cruise. Steve, our cruise ship, the Celebrity Apex, is the most expensive cruise ship ever constructed. Isn't that something? And we've got bargain basement pricing because we booked our cruise group when the cruise industry was shut down during the height of COVID, when all that panic was going on. So if you're in our group, don't tell people on board; they'll get pissed. You're gonna get your passage cheaper than anybody else on the ship. It's that good. We leave out of Fort Lauderdale January 28th. Our first stop is San Juan, Puerto Rico. Next stop, Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. One of our listeners in the U.S. Virgin Islands called yesterday and said she's going to meet the ship in the Virgin Islands. And our third stop is St. Kitts. We have shore excursions planned. We have dinner together every night, onboard activities, and everything we do is exclusive to our group and our group alone. If you're not in our group, you can't participate in any of our events on board or our excursions. In fact, our excursions are private too. I'm going to give you the number for Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. If you've already made reservations, call Ian because Ian and I are working on a lot of things and he needs to touch base. But we grabbed a few more cabins, Steve. This is our largest group yet, literally till the bars close. Of course, I only drink Avion. Drinks can be included as well. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's Ian with Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244-5779. Join us. Okay. I got some other stuff I wanted to play for you. Did you have somewhere you want to go? What do you want to do, Steve? Okay. Now I got a couple things I played in the 6 o'clock hour I want to share with you. This is great. So Nicole Wallace, who worked for John McCain for many, many years, she's one of the resident traitor Republicans on MSNBC. She had a legal expert on, and they're discussing charging President Trump with manslaughter in the death of Ashley Babbitt. Listen.
Even if you were that deluded, quote, you may not send an armed mob to the Capitol, you may not sit for 187 minutes and refuse to stop the attack, you may not send out a tweet that incites further violence. It sounds like around the violence, she's looking at what the committee talks about as dereliction of duty. Is that actually a specific crime that you can charge someone of, Barbara?
So it's not a federal offense, but there actually is a really interesting legal theory here for even gross negligence. And Trump, unlike most ordinary citizens, has not only a duty not to do something bad, he has an affirmative duty to take action to protect people. And so I think you could possibly put together a theory based on the facts that Liz Cheney just described to make Donald Trump responsible for the deaths that occurred that day.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. Charging him with Ashley Babbitt's death.
Out of space, these people. You know what this was?
What's that?
And that is, after this election, when we take over the House
and the Senate,
they're probably going to maintain a committee looking into these events, but they're going to, the first move the committee is going to make is to change the chairman. And consequently, while changing the chairman, changing all the members of the committee to people who are really interested in finding out what went on.
Yeah, Jim Jordan will be the chairman of the committee probably. Yeah. Yeah.
That they are under the microscope as opposed to Donald Trump.
And there's another committee, okay? There's another committee that's going to be formed. The committee to investigate the January 6th committee. That's the committee I'm really looking forward to. Yeah.
I never realized, I mean, we all have a certain sense that there's a certain amount of corruption involved in government. I had no idea how pervasive it is. I mean, it's just rotten to the core, the way these politicians have run things. And of course, lately it's been mostly Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get things straightened out, and it'll be fun to watch. I can guarantee it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. All right, let's take some calls. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Gloria. I'm calling from South Florida.
Oh, hey, Gloria. What's up?
I just
Speak up, dear.
I just wanted to comment that I heard the lady on the debate last night say that they both agreed not to one another, which Crist did, and that's...
Also, Charlie Crist is a liar. He lied to the debate people. So that's why he did. That's why. Okay. So no, slow down. That's a. I'm glad you called. So that answers your point, Steve. That Ron DeSantis is a man of his word and didn't respond because they were not supposed to do that. That's Charlie Crist.
I used to view him that way, but I must say that's how he came across last night.
I don't know what the fan's about, though. What's the fan about? He doesn't want to sweat under the lights, maybe? It's become his thing. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But so okay, so that answered your question. You know, sometimes, though, people get... the Kennedy-Nixon debate. Some stories have come out in the last couple years about that. Nixon and Kennedy had a discussion with one another, one-on-one, about an hour before the debate. And Kennedy set up Richard Nixon in that debate. It was so hilarious. Now, remember that the story goes that the Nixon-Kennedy debate, people that watched on television saw Nixon lose because he was sweating. People that listened on the radio who were polled said that Nixon won. And this is a true story that has been confirmed by multiple people, and this just came out like a couple years ago, but it's been confirmed by multiple sources, that about 30 minutes to an hour before the debate, Senator Kennedy and Vice President Nixon talked backstage, and Kennedy totally set him up. Because, this was, I believe, the first televised presidential debate, and Kennedy said, I know I'm not, they wanted me to put makeup on to go on television. I'm a guy, I don't wear makeup. I'm not going to wear makeup. And Nixon said, that's right, I'm a guy, I don't wear makeup either. And of course, Kennedy knew he was going to wear makeup and put makeup on. And the reason that he looked good and Nixon looked bad is because he had proper makeup on for the lighting and it stopped him from sweating, unlike Nixon, who was sweating and looked creepy because of the lighting. Yeah, which the makeup would have taken care of.
Yeah.
And so I will say that Charlie Crist did a similar thing to Ron DeSantis. He agreed not to get involved in back and forth when he knew he was going to, and he kind of set up Charlie Crist to be standing there without responding. So it made it look like he was being evasive when he was just obeying the rules that they'd agreed to prior to the debate. So, so that I'm glad that lady called in. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. I could tell with what the lady told us there. Now, listen, our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Now, at the end of the week, Steve, you're heading over to Dr. Appleton and have him rid you of your hip pain with his laser-away pain system. Well, let me tell you, laser-away pain, that system with Dr. Appleton works. I know it works as it worked on me. He rid me of my knee pain that I have been suffering from for years. And it was, the pain I had was so bad, it was, sometimes I'd be almost in tears. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. And I was skeptical when I went in there. I'm like, come on, I just thought this was my life. And I have been pain-free. I had 2 treatments, Steve. I had immediate results. The next day I woke up and the pain was almost gone after the first treatment. But I went back in for a second treatment. The pain was gone completely and has not returned. Now, listen, the laser-away pain system works on more than just knees and hips like Steve's going in for. It works on any joint, elbow, neck, but not just joints, arthritis, bursitis, work and sports injuries, strains and sprains. Maybe you've had surgery, like knee surgery or shoulder surgery, and you're in pain after. It works on that as well. rotary tears, herniated discs, acute pain, chronic pain. The list goes on and on. Neck. If you've got pain, Dr. Appleton can help you with his laser away pain system. He's open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Walk-ins are welcome. No appointments are necessary because Dr. Appleton knows when you're in pain, you need relief, you need help right now, okay? You can find him online at AppletonChiro.com. I'm going to give you the number. Now, when you call or just walk in, make sure you mention you heard about Dr. Appleton on the radio because it's a no-charge consultation if you mention you heard about him on the radio. If you have x-rays, bring them, okay? He'll look at them for you. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710 for Dr. Philip Appleton. Remember, no injections, no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. 954-973-0710. All right, we'll take our top of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. 973-0710. All right, we'll take our top of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. Our daytime high today, 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Looks great. Really no chances of showers with northeast winds at about 10 miles an hour. I'm WPVF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some funny memes. And keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
Still ends interference point for the Palm Beach commute. 95 heading southbound just before Lincoln Boulevard. Our right shoulder is blocked by a disabled truck. No accidents blocking any lanes at this time, and the surface streets are also crash-free. We're seeing some light buildups on the turnpike heading north and southbound approaching Lakewood Road. Buildups on 95 north and southbound between Forest Hill Boulevard and Boynton Beach. I-95 heading northbound coming from Deerfield Beach into Boca, slow traffic.
Have you guys, I talked about this last week. Have you heard the story about the missing ABC News investigative producer? I've got an update on that I'm going to get into after the break.
Bonus points for details now through 1028. That's traffic. I'm Chris.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. Students speaking out in the aftermath of another deadly school shooting. 16-year-old student and a 61-year-old teacher killed. ABC's Andrew Dimber.
7 security guards were in the school at the time. Authorities say one guard saw the gunman trying to enter a locked door before the shooting. They say the guard notified school officials, who then called police. The police chief declined to say how the shooter eventually got inside, saying revealing that information could jeopardize safety.
You can understand that we want to try and make schools a hard target, and so to give the answer to the exam is really kind of offering a...
All right, we got about a minute left. We'll be back for the top of the hour break.
To be installed as Britain's third Prime Minister this year, Sunak becomes the UK's first leader of Asian descent. He was selected by the Conservative Party as its leader on Monday. A Russian court beginning the appeals hearing for WNBA star Brittany Griner. This is ABC News.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize.
There we go.
Just call in 888-GO-CANE-1. Hello. You'll thank us later. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, yes. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Okay. Have you heard this story, Steve, about the missing ABC News investigative producer? Oh, this was a big one. This guy, you know, he's kind of like Al Pacino's character in The Insider. Remember, Al Pacino in The Insider was with Russell Crowe. He was a 60 Minutes investigative reporter. He was investigating big tobacco. Remember all that harassment that they went through? This guy, he's an ABC News investigative producer who does the real work for all the pretty boys that take credit for everything on TV. And his home was raided by the FBI, and then he disappeared. No one saw him after this raid. And he has been writing an investigative book on the Biden disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which, of course, gave the people that knocked down the buildings on 9/11 a completely well-armed military and air force, right? Remember all this stuff, and well, it was also a catastrophe for people who were dead, because remember they moved out so quick that the names and contact information of every Afghan who worked with the United States for 20 years is in their hands, and it's you know, the list, we could talk for hours just listing. Well, yeah, and it resulted in a national security issue, a global security issue, terrorism problems. I mean, it's just a lot of death. And what happened to all those Americans left behind? So this guy, this ABC News investigative producer, is writing a book on that. And this story came out last week. The FBI raided his house. Can you believe this? The FBI raided his house, and well, no, but then he disappeared, and no one had seen him. And yeah, this is what shocked me. The media didn't cover. The media loves stories about themselves, right? They love themselves as much as they hate Trump. And this guy's with the mainstream liberal media, and they covered it up. So now we got an update. Network insiders, that's ABC, say that the FBI raid on this investigative producer who was writing a book about Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan wasn't related to that or any of his work. The FBI raided his home for something else of which they've not told us what it was. Give me a oh, okay, thanks a lot. It's all settled now. Are you kidding me? And they didn't tell us what they really raided the house for. Of course they raided the house because of that. Of course they did. They say that he's not missing, that he's embarrassed and he's hiding out at his mother's house. Well, where is he? Why are the press not at the mom's house showing us this guy? So we need proof of life here. We need proof that he's not in some CIA black site somewhere. These people, this is a new, this is a new America we're in. This is not the America that we were in 2 years ago. It's just not. It's not. This is not a free country anymore. This is, it is. And a guy who's gone missing and was raided. I am. It's one of their own. They've worked with this guy for 20 years, and they're covering it up.
About the FBI and the Justice Department, you're
but when
hard to believe.
Believe what?
That play is suspected.
Well, what I'm surprised, Steve. If we only talked about what we were shocked about, we wouldn't talk about anything. I mean, that's a standard we cannot apply to what we talk about. But what I am shocked about is that ABC News is covering up the disappearance of one of their own. That's what has me shocked. Is that Rich? I need you. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere, and I certainly would like to hear your thoughts on this. I tell you what's going on. We didn't call Barry. We got to call him at 8:15 now.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, 1-888-465-2631. That's our number. No, Steve, this is, it's one thing for them to do. It doesn't surprise me that they did it. What surprises me is that ABC News covered up the raid on one of their own people. And they're out there as well, no, nothing to do with that. He's still around. We're not going to show you the guy, but just believe us, he's not in hiding. He's just somewhere else. And, no. This is, the media are an extension of the deep state, is what we found out with Donald Trump. I mean, that's just it. Now, yesterday, we were had some clips of an interview with Biden, and we were talking. It sounds as if he's had a stroke, right? Remember we were talking about that yesterday. Well, here's another one. This is a new clip. This is Biden talking about Kamala.
Him since then, by the way?
I don't know. I try not to.
I haven't seen him in the media.
I try not to. Okay, here he is. This is Biden yesterday.
Last week, President Harris and I...
Hear that? Did you catch it? President Harris and I.
Last week, President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol.
Okay. Now, I know someone says, oh, he just misspoke. He left out the vice part. He's done that several times.
Speech he does it.
Maybe later on. I just have the beginning of it, so maybe he did it later. And, you know, the media, I remember when the media were talking about Trump's mental fitness. I mean, think about this, right? They were talking about how he was going to get us in the Third World War and all the things that they were projecting on Trump are happening right now. I never heard President Trump refer to Pence as President Pence. Certainly not multiple times as Biden did. And, you know, what I was talking about yesterday with this interview over the weekend where he forgot where he was, all right, he forgot where he was, Biden, in the interview. Kamala Harris has a constitutional, I would guess, I'm not Mark Levin, but she has a constitutional responsibility to step in to invoke the 25th Amendment when the president is unfit for office. And what I'm wondering about is the fact that she's not doing it. Is that an impeachable offense? Is her not getting involved and allowing this danger to continue, is that a high crime or misdemeanor being committed by Kamala Harris? What do you think, Steve?
It's so hard to tell what's going on behind the scenes there that one can only guess. I mean, who knows who's making the decisions here?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he thinks she's making the decision since he's calling her the president. Maybe she has more of a role than we realize at the White House. You know, maybe she runs a lot of the things that are going on there. I don't know, but
don't like to deal with this too much because it's so scary.
Yeah, but we have to. I mean, we're on the verge of a nuclear conflict in Europe right now. They're openly talking about nuclear war with Russia like it's no big deal. And when he doesn't even know who the president is, and he forgets where he is in the middle of an interview that's pre-taped and everything else, this is what the 25th Amendment is for. And when we see Biden, you know, we got to understand, when we see Biden, we see him at his best. They pump him full of whatever they pump him full of. I think I have an idea. I'm not going to say on the air what I think they pump him full of, but I do think they give him something, or he takes something.
No question.
Yeah. But Kamala...
That would come as a surprise. Easy question.
But when we see him is at his best, they see him when he's not doped up on whatever they give him to pump him up. Okay? And... Yeah, today's the 7:45 day. That's why he texted me, I think. Yeah. You know, we're gonna call him at 8:15 though. I texted. But
yeah, I mean, my guess is that because with all the speculation that's being done about who's pulling the strings behind the scene, it's probably a combination of two or three of the old guard.
Yeah.
Including Obama and a couple of people that Obama trusts.
Yeah.
That's probably who it is.
Yeah, but she's got an obligation here. The vice president has very few responsibilities. Okay, and if she's allowing this to continue without getting involved, she is involved in a cover-up that has got to be criminal to allow someone mentally unfit. Yeah, that's what the vice president has to get the cabinet together, and she calls for them to vote on the 25th Amendment, the cabinet together, and invokes it. She has a...
You're assuming the cabinet would go along with...
Well, you can't find out what they're going to do until you do it, but the fact that she's not doing it has got to be criminal. Now listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to check in with attorney Barry Siegel, and then we'll be back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere. The fact that she's not doing it has got to be criminal. Now listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to
Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, and we're going to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys?
Great. What do you have for us this morning, Barry?
A lot of listeners may not know. First of all, we're a team of 16 dedicated professionals, and our goals are to make sure that our clients have an estate plan that works, that's going to work for them at the time that they need it to work, either the time of incapacity or disability or at time of passing, and also to make sure that our clients don't run out of money before they run out of life, so that they have a plan to make sure they don't run out of money if they need long-term care. Person calling, answering the phone, so that we're always available for our clients anytime you need us. So
wow.
So just some things that I may not have talked about.
I did not know that, Barry. Well, you know, these things can be a crisis, 24 hours a day. You know, I got a call from a listener yesterday, and his father had passed, had a few $1 million, and the young wife, not his mother, got all the money, and him and his brothers, they didn't get anything because his dad didn't prepare. It's terrible.
Why it's so important to make sure that you review your plan every so often to make sure that the plan is what you think you have, because a lot of people may have done a plan a long time ago, may have done it in a different state, may have done it when they were married to someone different than who they're married to now. There's all kinds of circumstances, and people forget what plans they made, and so that's why it's so important to have it reviewed and make sure that you have an estate.
That's right. I've even heard stories of ex-wives inheriting instead of the current wife. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things happen, but it doesn't have to happen if you go and speak to Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. Well, we did learn something new after all these years that we've never heard before. The Siegel Law Group, you can call them 24 hours a day, and you'll get a live person to help you. And these things often happen at 1:30 in the morning, right? Now, when you call the Siegel Law Group, make sure you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio so you can take advantage of the no-charge free consultation with the Siegel Law Group, okay? Here's the number, toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll touch base later in the week. All right, back after this. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll touch base later in the week.
All right, I'll look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, back after this.
Grab your coffee and get ready to be triggered. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You know, I'm perfectly hydrated now, Steve, and it's I'm becoming addicted to water now. So, but water is yeah. Oh my goodness. I feel so much better now that I'm like properly hydrated. The only problem is I have to go to the bathroom a lot, and some of our breaks are not long enough for me to run to the. You know, I should not reveal this on the air, but I'm going to reveal it, and this may, I don't know if this is okay. The men's room, we have the whole top floor of our office building here. The men's room is on the other side of the office, far away. The ladies' room is right outside my door. I use the now there's nobody here these early hours, but I use the ladies' room, Steve. I use the ladies' room when in the morning. So yeah, I know. I guess I'm kind of trans when it comes to the to the ladies' room. But when I go in, even though there's no one here, but you know, so, I do lock the door just in case a lady shows up early and wonders what's going on here. And I do put the seat down. I live with women, my wife and daughter. I know the routine. Put the seat down. Don't worry. Anyway, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. And I want to tell people that are new to the program, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And we will be here live the morning after our midterm election talking about the great victories we are going to have. Did you catch Carrie Lake on Hannity last night?
I caught the exactly what I caught. They invited her opponent,
Katie Hobbs. Yeah.
And Hannity did a slice job on the opponent who was. Did she show up or not?
Oh, no. She won't show up with Carrie Lake, Katie Hobbs.
But anyway, she probably, by the time Hannity was finished ripping her up in absentia, she probably wishes she had showed up because Fox has just done an incredible job with this election. It's like they've been purchased for the by the
yeah. That's okay. I have them too, but I saw Carrie Lake on Hannity. I just have one clip, and she's always great, and she was very good, and
I'm telling you, all Foxes just devoted themselves to.
The motto is God enriches, and we need to. Katie Hobbs doesn't even want our state motto in the classroom, probably because the word God's in there. And this is what's happened when we push God out of our society, out of our culture, out of our homes, out of our hearts. Look what's happened to America. We need to bring God back. We really do.
Well, and by the way, when she says God, she means God who sent Jesus to the earth. Okay, not some generic thing. She's evangelical Christian. You had a little different experience because you went to all those fancy private schools, with the CIA people and the Kennedys and everything. I went to public school, but you were praying to Jesus as a Jew. No, interesting. But anyway, and I remember in public school, there used to be open prayer, and I remember when I was in 7th grade when that barracks bombing happened in Lebanon in '83. And my principal was here in Florida. My principal was also a Baptist preacher who had a real church and had church every Sunday and Wednesday. And I remember he came on the intercom and didn't do a generic moment of silence. Came on and did, when the Marines were killed in Beirut, did a prayer to Jesus on the intercom for the entire public school, and then did a moment of silence. And I told you this one thing, Steve. This was in the old, just the New Testament, red letter versions. And they came into each class and said, "Raise your hand if you want a Bible," And you couldn't. You'd get arrested if you did that now. And I remember, yeah, go ahead. I remember when they had this. I was a kid, so I don't remember what the exact issue was, but it was during the Reagan era where they passed some legislation that took God out of schools. And that's when the school shootings started, really. I mean, we didn't have these school shootings and all this BS when there was prayer in the... Like, for example, there used to be prayer before every athletic game, not just football. Any type of game, or wrestling, baseball, tennis, there'd be a prayer before. Golf in public school. And there was another shooting yesterday somewhere I saw referenced in the news. And last night, Parkland came up in the debate with Charlie Crist and DeSantis. And why are we having these things now? It's the guns. We had a lot of guns back then, man. And we didn't have school shootings because we had God in the schools, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's my thought, but things have gone downhill in the public schools since they took Jesus out. Right? I mean,
A little bit. I agree with what you're saying. But it's more than that. I mean, systematically they've done what they can to destroy the basic values America is based on, largely family and prayer and God and those things. And it's funny. I was following these subway shootings in New York, and the mayor trying to say that the coverage is being distorted because they make it look there was only 6 shootings a day.
Oh, that's it.
When I say shootings, not just shootings, but pushing. The new fad is pushing people in front of the trains. Lovely, And he's saying, well, we just had 6 a day, but they all get condensed on the news, and it's all they show is the people getting, they rerun the crime shots of basically six crimes a day. When I went to Riverdale, I had to take the subway to get.
We're up against the break, Steve. So yeah.
Okay, I want to say this.
Okay, callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break, which is long enough for me to make the run to the ladies' room, Steve. 1-888-COCAINE-1's the number. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this. Cocaine 1's the number. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Tired of boring mornings?
Today, 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies, looks great. Really no chances of showers with northeast winds at about 10 miles an hour. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some funny memes. And keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
Still in center free this morning for the Palm Beach commute. 95 heading southbound just before Linton Boulevard. Right shoulder is blocked by a disabled truck. No accidents blocking any lanes at this time, and the service streets are also crash free. We're seeing some light buildups on the turnpike heading north and southbound approaching Lake Worth Road. Buildups on 95 north and southbound between Forest Hill Boulevard and Boynton Beach. I-95 heading northbound coming from Deerfield Beach into Boca. Slow traffic there. This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP. MVP Spur Rewards members visit Lowe's now and earn bonus points on products and brands like DeWalt. They redeem them for Lowe's e-gift cards and more. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees. Lowes.com/MVP's bonus points for details now through.
Introduce you to Dr. Appleton.
I had a new patient on Saturday, came in with sciatic, leg pain. She lifted something wrong on Saturday. She said, "Can this help me?" And I said, "Sure." And we did the laser on her on Saturday. On Monday, she returned, and she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The joy of doing this all these years is helping patients, and the laser is just an amazing tool that I use to help people with acute, chronic, young, old, golf, tennis players, NBA, football players, male, female, it doesn't matter. The laser will help. And once we finish patients up, I never hear from anybody. What I do hear from them is a referral, the family, the wife, the cousin, the nephew that comes back. And that's the biggest joy.
Give Dr. Appleton a call at 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and say bye-bye to your pain.
Hi, this is Debbie Klatzoff, President and owner of I Will Advisors. We are your Medicare experts. It is that time of year again, the annual open enrollment period. It runs from October 15th through December 7th, and this is the only time of the year that you can make a change to your existing Medicare health plan or prescription drug plan. 2023 has some exciting new things in store. There are talks of decreases in your Medicare Part B premiums and changes coming to Medicare Advantage plans and standalone drug plans. If you are on a standalone drug card, I would highly recommend getting a review of your current plan to ensure that it will still be suitable for you next year. There are plans being discontinued and plans with huge rate increases. Many of you will be impacted, but don't stress. We've got you covered. Give us a call for your free, no obligation education. Call I Will Advisors, your Medicare experts, at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Again, that's 954-753-8080.
Have you ever wanted to feel like royalty? Join our loyal listener club and sign up today at oldiesouthflorida.com. Once you're a member, you'll be eligible to get special deals, participate in exclusive contests, and more. Hey man, that's groovy. Plus, you'll get our newsletter in your inbox, packed with information on your favorite oldies personalities, inside information on your favorite artist, and great music insights. Visit oldiesouthflorida.com and join the loyal listener club today.
The Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked the group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. You know, my wife is still in the hospital, Steve, and not sure when she's coming home. I just got some text messages from her. She's having complications from the surgery, unfortunately. So it's not just getting some text messages during the show. So it's, you know, it's not. She's not dying, but there's. I don't want people to think she's dying. She's not dying, but there's some bad complications. I just, since you asked, but I'll tell you though. Well, thank you very much. I don't have anyone at home to cook right now, so. I'm sorry for the next few days. oh man! Let me tell.
I've had
the meat lovers.
I've had the meat lovers.
Well, you've had the regular. You had the regular pizza meat lovers, which is spectacular. Serving you. I got the Sicilian pepperoni. This will be my first time getting the Sicilian meat lovers. Steve, that crust is thick and it is good. I mean, my goodness, that Sicilian pizza at Anne Marie's is out of this world. It's thick crust, traditional pie with homemade tomato sauce and mozzarella, and I'm going to get it as a meat lovers. Oh yeah, that's Sicilian. My daughter and I, that will be with the Sicilian. I'm going to get the lobster ravioli appetizer, which is our personal favorite here on the Steve Kane Show. Yeah, well, you know what? After you go to Dr. Appleton for the laser away pain at the end of the week, stop by Anne Marie's. You're not far from there. The lobster ravioli, this was the first bite I had of Anne Marie's. Steve and I got the lobster ravioli appetizer, and that's not something I would normally order because, well, we'd never been to Anne Marie's before, and I was amazed when I took that first bite. I knew that was real lobster. I mean, that was real fresh lobster. Oh yeah, chunks of it, and they only use fresh Maine lobster. So I'm going to get the lobster ravioli appetizer. I'm going to get the Sicilian meat lovers, and I can't go to Anne Marie's and do takeout without getting the cannolis. Make sure you get the cannolis, Steve. They'll blow you away. Listen, Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of Copans Road and US 1 Federal Highway. In the same plaza as the movie theater. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio, okay? And you wine lovers, they got a great collection of wines, and they actually have a wine VIP club over there, Steve, and someone gave me a bottle of wine from Anne Marie's, and I told you cracked it open over the weekend and drank all of it. It was, but hey, someone's got to drink it. I opened it, okay? But oh man, it's great. So make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. So we were talking about prayer, and you were talking about yeah.
The damn mayor in
Oh, Eric Adams, lunatic, the worst, worse than Dinkins.
Donald says a real beaut.
Yeah.
Another beaut. He's trying to apologize and saying the subways and system in New York is not really that bad. He says, because what they do is there are only about 6 major shootings and pushings in front of trains a day. Only 6 crimes a day. But what the press is, they exaggerated.
You from New York. He said, he's going to tell you to get on, Yeah. Come on, Adams.
Later, Mayor.
Exactly.
Where was I? Okay.
Only six shootings a day.
And this guy said, well, there's only like 4 a day. It's really not that bad. They're just exaggerating it. I mean, it gives you difference between what New York is now and what it used to be when it was really New York.
He's
somebody that loves New York. I got to tell you, I'm heartbroken about it.
He said something. This may have been the same interview you're talking about. This guy, Eric Adams, he's just like Val Demings, right? Every job he's gotten from affirmative action, and he was always working towards the next job, and that job, not doing the job. He was on television over the weekend. It may have been the interview you saw. And he said to be safe, people need to put away their headphones and cell phones and everything else. And I'm thinking, and the interviewers that are in New York, it was the local news in New York, and they agree. Oh yes, we should put away our AirPods and our phones. And I know things were bad during Dinkins, but didn't Dinkins try to fix it? But he can't be as bad as this guy, Steve.
Dinkins was bad. Dinkins was worse than this guy, if you can believe that.
When did Bernie Goetz shoot those people on the subway? Who was mayor then?
Prior to Dinkins.
Oh, okay.
By a lot, but it was.
I don't want to see any. Obviously we don't want anything terrible to happen, but things are so bad in New York, Steve. Regular law-abiding citizens some of them got to be packing weapons illegally up there. I mean, it's got to be scary. I mean, it's only a matter of time before liberals have always been soft on crime, but now they're openly embracing criminals. And I don't understand. It's this, about 15 years ago is when George Soros started backing district attorneys. And we have district attorneys throughout this country and chiefs of police and probably county sheriffs too that are Soros backed. And that's, of course, all about, letting the criminals run everything.
It has taken over our society, not just in 1 or 2 cities, but in all the major cities, and it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. And what's going to happen is what always happens: it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So
okay, it's been a long time, so my memory's a little scattered on that. But was he? I don't know if you can say it on the radio.
I don't know, he said something very clever before he pulled the trigger.
That sounds vaguely familiar. If anyone remembers, call us. But this is what I want to ask you about Bernie Goetz. When he did that, was he embraced kind of like as an anti-hero? People were, yeah.
It's going to take...
I'm not being a New Yorker. I can't go to New York now because I don't know my way around enough. I mean, you have to be a native New Yorker to visit New York right now. It's just not safe.
I wouldn't go to New York now.
Oh, okay. Well, in the Dinkins era, that Dinkins didn't want killers to walk the streets. That he didn't want people to burn down Christmas trees and be out on bail the same day, without bail the same day. At least that's what. Take our break. The callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take a quick break and be back with William Youngerman and the Gold Report.
The longest running radio show in the state of Florida, The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, and each morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the...
Yesterday we saw gold close back down $8.20 at $1,649.70 the ounce. Silver closed down 21 cents at $19.21 the ounce, while platinum was down $6 at $9.25, and palladium was down $51 at $1,895 the ounce. This morning we've seen a trading range on gold from 16.38 to 16.56, and right now we're at 16.41. That's down $8.70. Silver down 36 cents at $18.85. Platinum down $20 at $905, and palladium down $80 at $1,815 the ounce. So pretty much trading in ranges that we are familiar with. Gold, and you know, when we get these pullbacks, we like to take advantage of them and buy.
Well, you know, everything is priced to buy. The metals are actually on sale this morning. But I wanted to ask you for a moment or two here, William Youngerman, about something we don't talk about too much. We mention it here and there, but that's platinum. You know, right now platinum looks priced to buy too. Let's talk a little bit about platinum. How much platinum should someone have versus gold and silver, and what options are there if people are interested in platinum?
Platinum is a true commodity of which almost every ounce of which is mined is utilized in some way every year. So it's not something that has tremendous stockpiles of. It's very cheap. It's 15 times rarer than gold. And normally, historically speaking, it was always priced a little over gold to much over gold. And now we're looking at a commodity that's, at one point it got down to half the price of gold. It has been acting much better and has been trying to stay above the $900 number. I like platinum. I like it a lot. I think at least 10% of your metals in portfolio should be in platinum, and especially when it's this cheap.
Now let me ask you, because I know like there's platinum, there's American platinum. I guess are they Eagles like the other like silver and gold? There's like
make platinum coins. The U.S. makes the platinum eagle. Canada makes a platinum maple leaf. Australia makes the platinum coin, as does several other countries. So they're very easy to buy. It's very easy to buy a beautiful platinum coin, and we have them all.
Which do you recommend? Which is the best of them to buy?
Right now, probably any of them are very good values. The U.S. Eagles in platinum can be purchased pretty reasonable compared to the other Eagle products. So I would recommend some platinum Eagles.
There you go. Yeah, and by the way, they're beautiful coins. Those American platinum, all the platinum coins are beautiful. But those American platinum Eagles are gorgeous. All right, listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. You can give him a call toll free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop right in. He's located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, I'm pretty
good. All right, back after this. Immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. I think we've solved a lot of our nation's problems today, but we've got 11 minutes to go. Maybe our callers have some thoughts. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Tommy Martin. I'm calling from Hartwell, Georgia.
All right, Georgia.
Public?
No, I'm not. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay. Okay, hit the dump button. I'm the only one that heard. You didn't even hear that, Steve. Okay. I can't. I'll tell you after the show exactly. But I used to be opposed to racial profiling by police officers. I thought that I was young, and then I realized after talking to thousands and thousands of callers over the years, I can tell by the first syllable out of someone's mouth everything about them, and I knew it. I'm not going to give away on the air, but I'll tell you listen, I learned this from you, Steve. What I tell you, you'll say, oh, yeah, okay. But no, I just want to take a moment. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm not sure we'll go back to the calls or not after that, but I'm waiting for the delay to build back up. I want to just talk for a moment. We're 2 weeks away today from the midterm election, and I just want to talk a little bit about the seminar caller for those that are new to the program. Rush used to talk about seminar callers a lot, the great Rush Limbaugh. And what seminar callers are, they're fake callers, okay? They're fake callers. They're callers that are put up by a group or organization that's somehow connected to the Democrat Party one way, shape, form, or another, and they call in for all kinds of purposes. And that particular guy was calling in, lesser skilled radio hosts fall for these traps, and what they try to do is get you involved in a discussion going in a certain direction that you're not supposed to be going into in the case of that guy. And now here we are 2 weeks away from the midterm elections. We're on seminar caller watch here on the Steve Kane Show, and seminar callers are fun. I'm happy to have discussions with seminar callers, but that guy was touching on some things that, you know, they try to set you up. But we know what we're doing around here. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE. 1 is our number, toll free, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Vinny from New York.
Hey, New York, what's up?
How are you, buddy? Getting back on Bernard Getz. Bernard Getz,
Steve Kane
when
Show.
he was on the train station, on the train,
Steve
in
Kane
the train
Show.
car, he shot the one guy, and then he stood over him and said, "You don't look too." He shot him.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right. You don't look so bad.
Yeah.
The line that really put the nail in his sentence, I guess you would say.
Let me ask you, okay, are you old enough to have been like a New Yorker during that era?
Yes.
Okay. Let me. This is just, again, I'm just a tourist when it comes to New York. Okay, like you and Steve, native New Yorkers, probably never been to the Statue of Liberty, probably, right? I've been. That's right. I've been. I'm a tourist, right? It's like Floridians. We don't go to the beach, but the tourists do. No, but I think things are worse today than then, because at least then the bad guys had a fear of the police. Right now, Steve, they're not afraid of the police. They commit crimes in the middle of the day when they know they're being recorded on high definition, and the bad guys have lost complete fear of any arrest, prosecution, or law enforcement. And I think that makes it more dangerous. You're living in an anarchy now. At least during in that era, they tried to not get busted. They were scared of getting caught.
The bad guys have broken down society, is what's happened, and the rules are down the drain.
Steve Kane Show.
The right and wrong are concepts that don't really exist anymore. And if you only have, 6 or 7 shootings a day in the subway, that's a good day, for the good guys. They destroyed society, and we've got to put it back together. And it's either going to happen in this election or it's not going to happen.
Steve Kane Show.
That's what I see.
Steve Kane. Oh.
My family has junkyards in East New York, Brooklyn. I don't know if you guys are familiar with East New York, Brooklyn.
No, I have no idea.
Early as the early 70s, when the movie Death Wish, remember Death Wish?
Oh, yeah, Charles Bronson.
When he was the vigilante, that was all
great movie.
All Pitkin Avenue, Lake Avenue, Sutter Avenue, all down on all the main streets down in Brooklyn and East New York, and that was a rough time, a rough area. Everything was burnt. There was abandoned cars. There was stray dogs. I mean, it looked like the apocalypse. And that's what's going to happen back to New York City, because a lot of good people are leaving and they're just fed up with the crime. Or people
they've already made the movies about it. Escape from New York, Escape from L.A., The Warriors. You see The Warriors?
The Warriors, yeah. That was all filmed in Coney Island. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Well, that's all I got, guys.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, one of my favorite movie lines is in The Warriors. Warriors. Remember, he's got the Pepsi bottles in his fingers. Come out and play. Remember that?
Right.
I love that one. I love that line. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Marianne from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Marianne.
Okay, the bad guys aren't afraid of the cops because there aren't really, really bad guys around anymore, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
Organized crime. Organized crime, while I don't support it, kind of kept a lid on things in New York.
Oh, really? Really?
Interesting perspective.
Well, if you ran over Gotti's kid in the street, there was justice. But, you know, this thing in the subway, though. Again, I'm not a New Yorker, but why would you even be on a platform right now? Why would you even be on a platform when you see what's going on there? I mean, getting run over by a train is one of the worst ways to go. And when I saw that idiot mayor, Eric Adams, tell people, well, you got to put your AirPods away and your phones away, and what pissed me off about, he's an idiot, but they had these two lady, it was the local news in New York City. So there's a #1 TV market in the world. They're supposed to be top tier guys, and both of them said, yeah, that's a good idea, Mayor. None of them said, how about putting the criminals away, Mayor? You know, I mean, I couldn't believe. You know, part of the reason it's the way it is because I think all the smart New Yorkers are left, and all you have left behind are a bunch of liberal social justice warriors. You know what I mean? All the tough New Yorkers are gone. They're in Florida now.
In the city, yes. Out on the island, it's different.
Yeah.
It needs to be more conservative.
Let me ask you: were things worse today than they were during the Bernie Getz era, or not? Was it worse then or now?
I was out of New York at that time, but
I was in New York. Much worse now.
Yeah.
It's a shame, because I know that was a very difficult time in the city. But, you know, where are the guardian angels? Where are the 5 families?
The 5 families. Where are the 5 families?
Mayor, but he didn't make it somehow. I wonder if he ran today, if the result would have been different.
Oh, yeah. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Lisa from Pompano.
Hey, Lisa.
I just want to comment. My daughter actually lives in, and my husband's daughter, obviously was different. She was 35 years old, and the fentanyl, the heroin, she died from that on February 20th. It's horrible what's going on. It really is. And my husband is just, every day just comes home and cries. It's horrible. You know, it's
oh my goodness.
It's just 35. She was a nurse, and it's just, and we got all the death report. I mean, it's just horrible. And I'm so scared for my own daughter and her husband, because they both have to take the train. And I tell her, don't put your eyes, those stupid things in their ears. She doesn't. No, Mom, I'm not. And
I'm so sorry. No.
And they should. I wish she would come back, but he's still finishing his residency up there, and her doctor. And anyways,
Her husband's putting your son-in-law's putting your daughter's life at risk to finish his residency up there.
absolutely, he's like 5 years in, and then she left it up there, and they're both from Florida.
Oh my goodness. Listen, we're up against the end of the show, but thank you for sharing. Yeah, no. Another day. Keep us updated and best. Okay, take care. Oh my goodness. Call is on hold. I'm very sorry we're out of time for today, but we'll be back tomorrow with your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. God bless America and God bless Donald Trump. On hold. I'm very sorry we're out of time for today, but we'll be back tomorrow with your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. God bless America and God bless Donald Trump. That's some call. Whew. Listen, guys, I got to take off. If you're new here, please subscribe. And everyone, before you go, like the video if you don't mind. That helps me out a lot when you guys like the video. That poor lady. I mean, you could hear the pain. You could hear the pain in her voice. That was really sad. Really sad. All right, everyone. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.